When's Christmas? Thursday? Wednesday? It's a week from today. What's today? Wednesday?
Today is the...
Who are you?
Brunch.
Hit it, boys! Uncut Gems, man. That looks good.
I was wondering where you're going with that. We haven't seen it yet.
Brunch.
Hit it, boys!
But, yeah, the anticipation grows every single day.
I feel like this shouldn't happen anymore, where like, oh, I haven't seen this because I live in this part of the country.
Yeah,
Everybody
what
gets
the
everything
fuck?
they want the second they want it now.
Yeah.
So knowing that there are people in like a certain land that have this
In Boston, of all places, like I've heard people in like the Midwest complaining, like, "Oh, I don't get this movie anywhere around here until a couple of weeks from now, a month from now."
Yeah.
And I'm always like, "Ha, suckers! Shouldn't live in the middle of fucking nowhere." And now it's happening to us.
I went to New York the other day and I looked it up. It's not even like playing everywhere in New York.
Really? Yeah, I know that it's L.A. and New York are the only two cities.
Yeah.
And so it's like only select cities in New York, apparently.
And no, like select theaters in New York. I mean, none of the AMC's in like...
What?
I think there was one in Manhattan, but yeah, like...
Damn.
Like Brooklyn, like Lower East Side, any of those places, just...
You never think that it will happen to you until it does.
Quite weird.
It's also weird that it's like happening with a movie that is going to be on Netflix in like 2 weeks.
Oh, is it on Netflix?
I believe it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix on Christmas?
I think so.
So,
or maybe it's on Netflix like a couple weeks after Christmas,
Okay.
but I know that it's hitting Netflix at some point.
I feel very weird about this because I assume like I'm going to see Uncut Gems soon.
I'm probably going to go on
like,
Christmas.
so I'm just not gonna. No, like I'm saying, like before then, like something has to happen. Something has to change where this is going to within the next. Well, Christmas is in a week, huh?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Are you predicting that like there's going to be like a surprise
maybe,
drop
like,
of
leak it?
Uncut Gems? Who's
Can-
going to leak it?
Can they leak? Just leak it into. I wanted them to leak it, but at a theater.
I don't think that's ever happened before.
Not on. When's Christmas? Thursday? Wednesday? It's a week from today. What's today? Wednesday?
Today's the...
Who are you?
Today's the 18th, so yeah. Next Wednesday is Christmas.
Okay, so not Tuesday. Toss it in theaters Sunday because Patriots don't play Sunday.
It's true.
So toss it in theaters Sunday or Monday, and I'll knock it out. Sunday, ideally, because I feel like people will be scrambling doing their Christmas shopping on Sunday. I'll do that Monday.
You know, it would be a cool idea if a movie theater, say like AMC, was doing like mystery screening,
Yeah.
and they just don't tell you what movie it is, and you can get a ticket and go, and whatever they put on, and that's the movie that you get.
Oh, that'd be great. Although, you know who couldn't go to that?
You.
Why?
I don't know. I
I'd probably have some reason. Adam Driver.
That's true, because if there was an
If it's
Adam Driver movie, he's out.
He's getting out of there. That's a thing, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
People
He's not the only
absolutely-
actor either who's said that before. Johnny Depp doesn't watch any of his own movies.
Yeah.
There are plenty of actors that like are very uncomfortable. And I mean, as somebody who's done TV and does podcasts and stuff, it makes me very uncomfortable to listen and watch myself.
Lunge for the when the re-air on Boston Sports Tonight starts. I shouldn't say this. It sounds like I'm saying to not watch the show. But like when the re-air starts,
Turn that bad boy off.
I hit mute because I just don't like to hear my speaking voice and especially with singing.
Oh yeah, because it was so. If you haven't heard the news, Adam Driver walked out of an interview with Terry Gross on Fresh Air, and it was because they played a clip of him singing during the scene during Marriage Story.
Yeah.
And he made it very clear to the show that he was like, I really don't like listening to my own clips. He had been on the show before. They had a conversation about it. He was like, it drives me crazy, and like it's honestly like a phobia of mine. I don't.
Yeah.
It gives me anxiety. I don't like doing it. So they said, well, we're going to play the clip. If you don't want to listen to it, you can take the headphones off. And he walked out.
I don't know necessarily good for him or whatever, but totally understandable.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm hesitant to say like
I'm not
good
like you're
for him.
brave or
Right.
whatever. I'm just like,
But like
he was
if-
put in a situation that
if
he couldn't
felt like
handle.
that was
and he
the
left
best,
it.
if he felt like that was the best way for him to handle that situation, then I guess good for him for doing it. But like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna criticize him for it.
Especially when you're famous. What do you want to just like sit there and ride it out and being like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe I won't go absolutely nuts with everybody listening.
Especially with Adam Driver, who like right now has 3 movies out.
Yeah.
So he's probably like absolutely being crushed with press, and one of them being Star Wars, which
Yeah.
is like the fucking biggest movie of the year at this point.
I can't comment on that.
No, you definitely can't. But like Adam Driver is a fucking busy guy right now, and I'm sure that he's stressed to the heavens.
Yeah.
So if he felt like that was the best thing for him, I'm not going to hold it against him at all. And some of the takes that we've seen about the Adam Driver thing have just been like just the worst.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out of the this person thinks they're putting a message out there, but little do they know they're making a bad point, and I can show why they're actually a bad person. That's Twitter 101. But when I saw that Huffington Post writer be like, interesting, has a woman ever walked out on a Fresh Air interview? And immediately people like I'm surprised that people had the patience to do what she didn't, which is
Look it up.
Google as before just like calling. I don't know if she's necessarily calling Adam Driver sexist. I think she was probably suggesting, oh, I'm sure everyone's okay with it when he does it, but like if a woman were in that situation, she'd have to consider that she's going to get treated differently, and people are going to use a term that apparently was invented with the movie I saw recently called When Harry Met Sally, high maintenance. They would say like, "Oh, this actress is high maintenance" or whatever. Mm-hmm. But everybody just responded. They were like, "Yeah, Faye Dunaway did."
Yeah, and I that writer too. She clearly didn't read the piece, because I was going through the mentions and everybody was responding, being like, "Yo, he has social anxiety or has anxiety about watching his own performances, so he kind of just walked out for that reason." And she was like, "Oh, I hadn't considered that." It's like you just
good point.
You just shared the article and you didn't read it, and like the entirety of what that article is based on and the incident and what it's based on, just had no clue that that's what it was.
Everyone's just in a race to dunk,
to give a take,
and to give a take. So I quote tweeted that with the yeah, okay, so just a little update. We're not there with the whole being considerate of mental health thing. Because you know that about me. Like I get annoyed that everybody calls themselves a mental health advocate,
and they pick and choose
when it's like convenient or when it's cool. And I'm sure someone can see that and be like, "Well, he couldn't have just taken his headphones off, and he couldn't have just like wrote it out." Like, man, like I don't know what's going through that guy's head.
He
and
could have
like,
been having like a panic attack or something.
Right. I don't know. So I don't know. And also, I understand I'm probably being a little protective of Adam Driver, because
He doesn't seem
like
like
most
an asshole,
people,
man.
I just assume that he's like the best, most perfect person. Like he's on the Hanks list, which is the list of people where if you were to find out they were a bad guy, you'd be ruined.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are just rooting for Adam Driver right now.
Yeah, who's on? I'm getting distracted. Who's on your Hanks list?
Ah, man. I don't know. I'd have to think about it, but I mean, Adam Driver is on there for sure.
Now. So the only other person I can think of that would like ruin me, Yvette Nicole Brown.
Okay, yeah.
Do you follow her on social media?
No.
She's the only person on social media who is entirely like positive and good vibes and like trying to help, and just her social media gives off that like no one's ever met her and been like, that's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
So she's on that, like, please, if the perception I have of her is incorrect, then my whole life has been a lie, even though I've only known who Yvette
Nicole
Nicole
might be on that
Brown's
list
been
for me
like 10 years.
Is Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan's a good one.
Yeah. And like if we're talking about uncut gems, I mean Adam Sandler would be on that list, but like there's absolutely no question in my mind that
Adam Sandler's done some stupid stuff or something.
Yeah,
right?
but like he's not a bad guy.
No, but like he always plays like a dopey idiot.
Yeah.
So if they were like, "Yo, turns out he's a dopey idiot," be like, "Nah, well, I could see it coming." Also, I gotta rewatch Punch Drunk Love. I've seen it before. It's not that good, but Did we have this discussion about?
We've had this discussion on text about Adam Sandler in like his serious roles because I said I want Adam Sandler to get credit for being able to be a serious actor.
Yeah,
and you were like,
I thought you were kidding. I thought you were kidding. Well, I thought you were like mocking that people do that because but people will be like, hey,
well, yeah, that's
Kid Rock can actually carry a tune. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, I've listened to Only God Knows Why.
Right, yeah, dude, like I invented Only God Knows Why. I think, please, we all had Devil Without a Cause. But I view it as that, or like hey, you can toss a Charleston Chew in the freezer and total game changer. It's different than it is. So when people are like, hey, Adam Sandler deserves a little more respect because he can do some serious stuff.
Yeah, I think the people who pay attention
don't people know that?
I think the people who pay attention know. But
and also, he hasn't done it so much that like I feel that he necessarily deserves.
Right. That was something that you said. You're like, I really don't know if he's a good actor because he hasn't.
Funny People, I think, is his like best serious role, and I don't know if
Punch Drunk Love.
You thought the Punch? Yes, I saw that movie probably. I don't know, maybe within the last 10 years. I'll check it out again. I liked the premise of it. It was super weird, like a guy that's got that's a bit socially awkward and has some problems in the mental health department is being extorted at the same time he like meets a girl for the first time, basically.
Yeah.
Like, who thinks of that?
It's somebody who's kind of crazy, I think.
You know who's the guy that's extorting him?
No.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh.
Yeah. So, pour one out for P.
I wanted to see where you went with that one.
PSH. Hey, good PTA tweet.
Hey, thanks.
That was a good PTA. Yeah. For those of you not online, Pete made... was that a headline? It was a real headline?
No, the real headline was like Paul Thomas Anderson talks about what his Star Wars movie would look like.
So that's what I meant. Like, was there?
Yeah. There was like a real headline like that, and the his quote or whatever was that his Star Wars movie would be super long and depressing, like every other fucking Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Word.
And so I took out the super long and depressing, and it was like Paul Thomas Anderson talks about what his Star Wars movie would be like, and I said probably a high music video.
I didn't even mean that. My brain just took us to Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah.
I don't think it was because of Punch Drunk Love.
Oh, really?
But he did, yeah. People forget he did Punch Drunk Love. What else did you tweet? Let's recap some other tweets.
Check out Brunch's week on Twitter.
I'm looking at my own tweets, and I've got my last 3 are retweets. My last 4 are retweets, including Brunch. Couple of hockey tweets.
Oh, you're looking at your own. You're looking at your personal account.
Yeah, it'll take me 5 minutes to pull up the Brunch. Yeah, I thought we could do a little thing where we just talk about what we've tweeted. Just check in on...
I was talking about the actual Brunch account, and we got a request for the next Patreon fundraiser.
What is it?
Somebody, Ryan Bennett, our guy Ryan Bennett, asked how many Patreon subscribers for Jeff Israel to write the oral history of Brunch.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And I said 1,000, and we'll write a tell-all book about Brunch.
Tell all, man.
Because we don't tell all anyway every time we hit the record button.
We got... Now I'm looking at the mentions of it, and Black Christmas... Oh, no, the person didn't see Black Christmas. They heard us read the Wikipedia page of Black Christmas, and they had to hide their face because they were giggling so hard. So,
classic.
So that's cool. That's a little recap of some tweets in case you haven't been paying attention.
Brunch reacts to mean and or polite tweets.
Let's do Brunch reacts to any tweet. Okay. I'm just going to spin the roulette thing. Let's react to this tweet. Oh, no, it's from the Canadians and it's in French, so we can't react to that. Let's see. Let's react to...
They should have a I'm feeling lucky button for
yeah,
for
that's
Twitter.
What I'm saying. Just like spin that wheel of... I follow so many sports things. I got Ethan Embry talking shit about Trump. He's doing that a lot.
Who's Ethan Embry?
What's that?
Who's Ethan Embry?
He plays the bass player in That Thing You Do. He plays the cop in Blind Spotting. He plays. He's the
okay. Yeah.
His probably his biggest role was he was a star of Can't Hardly Wait. You ever see that movie?
Who's in that?
Ethan Embry, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
I don't think so.
Really?
Can't Hardly Wait?
Yeah,
that sounds very familiar.
It's like your classic high school party movie.
No, I don't think I've seen it.
Let's see. We got Justin Stangl wishing his kid a happy birthday. Yo, this is making me realize, as I'm looking for a tweet for us to react to,
Yeah?
no tweets are good. I'm just looking for anything. Okay, let's react to this from Jim, our friend Jim.
Okay.
Getting back-to-back episode shout-outs. And I saw the first line of it, piques my interest, because it's something I like a lot. Finally saw mid-90s. I thought the acting was pretty good, especially from Knack and Sonny, but the story felt a little underwhelming, seemed like vignettes of cautionary coming-to-age tales thrown together.
I think that's sort of fair. Like, I really liked mid-90s, but it's definitely not a perfect, cohesive movie, I would say.
It wasn't, yeah. It wasn't. It didn't make a big statement, and I don't think it was trying to.
No, it was just like a very easy, casual watch.
Right, just showing the kid trying to fit in, and that kid's probably, I don't know, in mid-90s, that kid's probably, if he looks back on his life, he's probably not even thinking about those friends. So there's like a friend group he had for a little bit. We've all had those where, like in this grade, I was friends with these people, and in this grade, I was friends with these people. Just a little snapshot, but it doesn't seem like Jim didn't like that movie.
No. It's very much up his alley. Jim's a big skateboard guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We have to have an update on listener Jim, because he actually went and saw Knives Out.
Yes.
And he gave us a little misdirection on Twitter, because I had told you that he was very skeptical about Knives Out.
Yes.
And he had told you that he was very skeptical about Knives Out. In
his own way that wasn't the nicest.
And he saw it, and he tweeted, Knives Out is, I don't know if he used the word
without a doubt,
unequivocally, but basically, unequivocally, the worst movie I've seen this year. And I was like, oh my God, of course.
I've seen it in theaters. That's where we should have known.
Yes, yeah. I've seen in theaters this year. And so the misdirection was, he's only seen that and Parasite this year in theaters. And he said Parasite was an A+, and Knives Out was an A. I was stunned to find out that Jim actually gave Knives Out a chance and liked it. So there's the thrilling conclusion to, does Jim like Knives Out? I
was pleasantly surprised by that. I've seen a few things this past week. I saw Hustlers finally.
Wow. Okay.
And
I still haven't seen it.
It was good. My biggest, like, if we were to do back when we used to do the little stamps and says like DJ says that it's whatever, my thing would be better than The Irishman. And I say that because it's like your typical Scorsese crime film, except it wasn't a Scorsese film, and it was an hour and a half. I think it was like between an hour and a half and 2 hours. It was short. It wasn't Goodfellas, but it was like
punchier.
It was like your classic kind of narrated crime film of, hey, we got to do this. This means when you find the guy, you got to look for the one, the kind that's wearing a tie. Then when he's wearing his tie, you do this and blah, blah. And then he has no idea, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. I feel like that happens in crime movies all the time. Like when they like talk through how they're going to screw somebody over. It was good, though. Jennifer Lopez was good. Constance Wu. I'm a fan of Constance Wu. I didn't really know a ton else about it going in. I just knew that it was about strippers doing something, running some kind of racket. And what a racket it was a good movie. I liked it. I would say between good and very good.
Oscars worthy? Because I've seen it thrown into the mix.
Okay, so not for me. I would say it's probably top 20 this year for me, and
I did my top 15.
I'm behind.
Very stressed. Very stressful experience, but man, I'm glad that it is, because we've talked about it This has been a good year for movies. It's officially declared a really strong year for movies for me, both in favorites and prestige movies. So I started to put together my list. There's still some that I haven't seen, but man, I don't know. There's still going to be a lot of moving and shaking, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I texted you this. Marriage Story, which I hadn't yet figured out where it really ranked. I think I said it was
so
between
good.
5 to 10.
I think
I've rewatched it and it's moved up for me. It's probably 4 or 5. That movie rules. I don't know. It could be as high as 3.
Yeah, I could see that winning Best Picture and me not being upset about it.
Yeah, I could see that winning Best. Yeah, I mean, well, let's think of what are the Best Picture noms going to be. I Googled it forever ago.
Yeah, I Googled it recently, and
it'll be Uncut Gems, Parasite, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Maybe.
Let's go with what Entertainment Tonight is predicting.
Okay.
Our picks from Entertainment Tonight, which I don't know if is the most reliable source, but let's just go with it.
Let's take Mario's word for it.
The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Parasite, in 1917.
Okay.
Obviously haven't seen 1917. Obviously haven't seen Little Women. I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit. You have. Yeah. I've seen the rest of them.
So the one that stands out there is definitely doesn't need to be there is Joker. But
I agree.
It's, I don't know. I still don't know where Joker would fall in the reshuffling, but they didn't say Uncut Gems there?
No, it's not in there. So there's there's a long list of challengers.
Okay.
Let's go with run down the list of challengers. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Bombshell, Dolomite Is My Name, The Farewell, Ford versus Ferrari. I haven't even seen it, but I think we can throw that out.
I wouldn't be. I could see that getting nominated and being like.
That just seems like a fun movie to me.
Right? Yeah. Good performances, but not an
Hustlers in the list.
Okay.
Knives Out, Pain and Glory, Richard Jewell, Rocket Man, The Two Popes, Uncut Gems. We'll talk about Richard Jewell later in this episode. That can get the hell out of there.
Yeah, no Richard Jewell there. Rocket Man, Jesus.
I liked it a lot. Should not be in there.
Right, Rocket Man.
I think that maybe they threw it a bone here because of Bohemian Rhapsody last year, but that's just ignoring because this is a better movie than Bohemian Rhapsody. But that's just not taking into account that last year sucked.
Yeah,
and Bohemian Rhapsody shouldn't have been in there last year to begin with, and last year sucked. This year way stronger. I really, really liked Rocket Man. Get it out of there. No thanks.
I think that if Rocket Man, I would put with like Joker, where it wasn't a bad movie, but if that's one of the better movies, then
a weak year.
That's a really weak year. I am surprised. I saw Jeff Lowe updated his top 10 movies this year, and he had Rocket Man there, which is crazy to me. Like, I don't know, like Rocket Man probably would be, if I were to ballpark it, like, I don't know, like 30, 35 of like movies I've seen this year?
I think it's like in the top 20, top 15 for me. I think it was on my top 15 list. I think it probably towards the bottom and at risk of getting pushed out. But I really liked Rocket Man.
Out that Egerton was good. There were some fun scenes. I loved the honky cat scene. Music was brutal. A lot of the stuff was,
I don't think it was
kind of forced and weird.
I don't think it was brutal.
It was mailed in, and I think that's an
people are going to go
thing
overboard
that you
with
can't get wrong.
People are going to go overboard with the music was spectacular.
Oh no, Jeff and I have had that fight a million times. That's like your classic. One person's right here, one person's wrong. Jeff's wrong.
I thought that it was good enough. Like it wasn't distracting.
Right,
I
was going to say, like, as long as it doesn't distract you, where you're like.
And it was enough about like Elton John's story where it wasn't so reliant on the music. I know that it's a musical and that tells the story, but it wasn't bad enough to distract, and there was enough going on outside of it that I was fine with.
Okay, that bell means it's time to play America's favorite new game show. It's called Was This 2019 Movie Better or Worse Than Rocket Man? Let's go, Pete. You're up first. Right. Jojo Rabbit.
I haven't seen it. That's the one that I haven't seen.
Bad start. Joker.
Better.
This was better than Bohemian
better than Rocket
Man.
Yeah,
I would say so. It's close. Ad Astra.
Worse.
We're starting with a lot that are like kind of in the same ballpark. I think.
Yeah, I mean it's near it, but it's worse.
Always Be My Maybe.
Always Be My Maybe. What the fuck is that?
You're gonna see Always Be My Maybe?
I don't know. Have I? I don't think so.
It's Randall Park.
I don't believe so.
Always Be.
Oh no, I haven't seen that. That's a Netflix one. That's a Netflix rom-com. No, I haven't seen it.
Really?
No.
That's a good movie.
Okay, I got to check it out.
I think it might be. I think that
Oscars now.
Always Be My Maybe might be better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Wait, Bohemian Rhapsody or Rocket Man?
Shit,
Jesus.
Rocket Man.
Really?
It's a little sub game inside of is this 2019 movie better or worse than Rocket Man? Is DJ comparing this movie to Rocket Man or Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yes.
John Wick 3.
John Wick 3 is worse than Rocket Man.
I'd say they're around the same. Booksmart.
Booksmart is better than Rocket Man.
Booksmart's better than Rocket Man. Cold Pursuit. This is a tough one.
Fuck off.
There are strong arguments can be made that Cold Pursuit is great.
If I could ever use a pass in this game, I would use a pass right now. But I will say that Rocket Man is better than Cold Pursuit.
We could just make this game. This could be our answer to the internet. We're going to make cards and sell it, and it's just going to be. It's going to spin off of this game called "Is this movie better or worse than Cold Pursuit?" The most difficult to grasp movie, and then you compare every movie you've seen to it. All right, here's an easy one. Happy Death Day to You. Better or worse than Rocket Man?
1,000 times worse than Rocket Man.
Deeply worse than Rocket Man. Yesterday.
Yesterday is way worse than Rocket Man.
Worse. Pet Sematary.
I haven't seen it.
It's worse, but not that much worse.
Okay.
Good Boys.
Good Boys is it's worse than Rocket Man, but I think kind of close, and I have a special place in my heart for Good Boys.
I also think Good Boys is close, and I'd probably say it's a little better. Crawl
is worse than Rocket Man.
I kind of thought it stunk.
What, really? You thought it stunk? It's worse than Rocket Man, but I really liked Crawl. We got an ad read. Wouldn't you know it? Back from the dead.
Couldn't be me.
And it's one of my favorite sponsors. It's Warby Parker. Very near and dear to my heart. Not just because they've supported the show for a long time, been a loyal supporter of the show, and also I love their products. Not even a joke, just 100% genuine. I wear their products every single day. Wearing them right now. TBH. Great glasses. And now they don't only do glasses, they also do contacts, which was a surprise to me. They sent me a pair in the mail. I really, really liked them. They come in like these weird packages that are completely flat, and you open them up, and then they're your contacts. It's a very strange thing, but I love them. So you can get your glasses and contacts now at Warby Parker. Glasses start at $95, and they include prescription lenses. Those lenses include anti-glare and anti-scratch coatings. If you need help, take the quiz, answer a few questions, and they'll suggest some great-looking glasses that are totally personalized to fill and fit your face and style. They'll also send you a free home try-on kit, and that allows you to pick 5 pairs of glasses and try them on for 5 days. There's no obligation to buy. They ship them to you free, and it includes a prepaid return shipping label, so it's super-duper easy to find the glasses that you're interested in, try them on, wear them out, see which ones you like, see which ones fit your style. So go to warbyparker.com/brunch and take the quiz to order your free home try-on. And now introducing Scout by Warby Parker. Comfortable, breathable, and affordable daily contact lenses. They're made from a super moist material that resists drying for long-lasting hydration and comfort. That's if all my contact wearing folks, you'll know drying out contacts are the absolute worst. Just your eyes are super irritable, makes you rub your face, looks terrible, super uncomfortable. Not with Scout from Warby Parker. Scout by Warby Parker are contact lenses for less than $1.25 a day. Order a trial pack that includes 6 days worth of contact lenses for only $5. Then receive $5 off your next Warby Parker order. So go to warbyparker.com/brunch. order the free home try-on program, or request a trial pair of Scout contact lenses for just $5. Visit warbyparker.com/brunch.
Aladdin.
Aladdin is worse than Rocket Man, but it's so much fun.
I think Aladdin was pretty close. The Lighthouse. Here's one that at one point was in my top 10, but all these good movies, man, throwing it right out. The Lighthouse.
I also haven't seen The Lighthouse yet.
Okay, I think that it was better than Rocket Man. Us.
Us is worse than Rocket Man.
I think Us is a little better than Rocket Man. Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
For sure worse than Rocket Man.
Worse. That Boston destruction porn
Yes.
was a little much. Spider-Man Far From Home.
Spider-Man Far From Home is better than Rocket Man.
Better. Let It Snow.
Let It Snow
This
is
is another
worse
that's
than
growing on me. And
Let It Snow.
the more I think about it, I had a kill. Let's recap my tweet. Did you see my Let It Snow tweet?
Oh yes, it was people dancing inside
The Denny's?
Yeah.
Oh, that ruled.
So funny. That was a
That
good tweet.
got like 36 likes, no retweets, but
I think
a
I
few
liked it.
like, this is where it's at. Like, this shit is where it's at.
I hit it with the like button with like the sort of anecdote or the asterisk that like, hey, if more people would get this tweet, I would retweet
Right,
it.
man, like,
I'm not going to retweet this for like two people that'll appreciate
Right.
it.
I'm not running a charity here. Look, man, this is my life. Let It Snow. Did we decide?
Worse.
Okay. The Kitchen.
The Kitchen, way worse.
I think The Kitchen is Kitchen currently the worst movie of the year?
No.
Piece of shit of the year?
No. Happy Death Day to You is worse.
Man, that's crazy. I think you're right.
Yeah, Happy Death Day. And like that's a movie that we wanted to like.
Right.
Not that we didn't want to like The Kitchen either,
Right.
but like Happy Death Day was like our movie.
I wanted to love The Kitchen. I wanted to be like, oh man,
Yeah.
like I just wanted I wanted The Kitchen to be good because I wanted people to have motion sickness from following whether or not Tiffany Haddish is good.
That's true.
What if there was a turn this year where it's like Tiffany Haddish is one of the best dramatic actresses of our time. Like that was in play.
That's kind of like what happened last year with Melissa McCarthy, because Melissa McCarthy in what's it called?
Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Can You Ever Forgive Me? Yeah, like she was unbelievable, and she was
Great.
my pick for best actress, and
Yeah.
like that sort of blew people's minds. So to have that 2 years in a row, this time with Tiffany Haddish, and both of them in the same movie where they were both great, that would have been awesome.
It's messed up.
I think you
I'm
can
so
make
like
the argument.
focused on the like Tiffany Haddish stock watch thing. We've
Yeah.
probably said this a million times. Because Girls Trip came out and she was
Sky high.
a legend in it. And then immediately, for some reason, everybody was like,
We got
Tiffany Haddish needs to host every awards show.
Yes.
And I
We
was like,
got to get her for our product. We got to get her for our award show. We got to get her for
but
Saturday Night
specifically,
Live,
it was
like every single
she's got to
week.
host award shows, and I was like, that's such a weird thing to ascribe to somebody upon seeing them. Like,
Yeah.
hey, have you ever hosted an award show? I think you could be great. And like, I don't know. And then she's hosting award shows. I don't even know if she had ended up hosting any award shows, but and then people like threw her in stuff, and she's getting like stand-up specials, and
She just didn't say no to anything.
right. And I think the more you do, especially when you're doing it all at the same time,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think that it would be wise of Tiffany Haddish to give an interview about that. Like that.
Yeah.
Like I did.
Like
I did
all
everything.
I'm all for just cashing those checks. Get
Right.
it while you can.
But as a result, then you get the
overexposure. People just got sick. People got Tiffany Haddish exhaustion.
Right.
And also like you watered down your brand because you were in
Exactly.
so many bad things.
right. And then she had. Didn't she have some really bad stand-up performances?
Oh yeah, she got booed off
Oh, that's what it
stage or
was
something,
like-
or she like walked off stage or something.
Yeah.
I think that she like abandoned a stand-up performance or something.
All right. Well, I mean, you never know there, but I started to watch her. She has a stand-up special on Netflix right now. Started to watch it. It was similar to the Seth Meyers stand-up special, which I thought was okay. I was like, I don't know if this is necessarily stand-up comedy. Like, you're
There's
not
a lot of that
You're not
now.
making jokes.
There's a lot of that now. It's like just somebody talking on stage, and they're not really like.
You know
they're
who's the
not really-
king of that?
Who?
But he's great at it, so everybody loves it. Mike Birbiglia.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're like he doesn't have like bits and schemes and stuff like that.
No.
He just gets up there and he's
Well,
like,
the one that we
I'm
talked
such
about.
a goof, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're a goof.
Well, even the one that was it? Oh yeah, Mike Birbiglia, that one, and then also what's it? He came on the show, Chris Gethard.
Yeah.
like his like had more of a purpose
Right.
to it.
That was
but,
more like
it
a
wasn't-
memoir.
Yeah, right. And so there were some jokes in there, and it wasn't necessarily like a stand-up comedy special. More of it was like a night with Chris Gethard.
All right, so this is also on the list. Rocket Man.
Better
it's
or
a push.
worse than Rocket Man.
It's a
yes.
push. The Lion King.
The Lion King is worse than Rocket Man.
Significantly worse. That movie stunk. It Chapter 2, worse.
It Chapter 2, yeah, worse.
Countdown.
What the fuck is Countdown?
You should know. You got the app on your phone.
Oh yeah, I didn't see the movie, but based on your description of the movie, worse.
Kind of riveting. What did I say? Countdown was good or bad?
I think you just said it was interesting.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it was so bad. Now that I reflect on it, Ma.
I'd love to say that it's better than Rocket Man because I hold a special place. Like I love Ma. Like
I want Ma to have.
I love to mock Ma.
Right, I want Ma to have like midnight screenings. You know.
Yes. It is such a ridiculous movie. I had so much fun watching it. I really
Totally.
did. But it's worse.
Somebody did. Was it Bruntouchable who did?
Yes, the Baby Yoda meme.
The Baby Yoda meme with Ma.
Yeah.
That's great because we said it as soon as that movie came out. We were like, "Yo, that's dying to be a meme."
Yeah.
But
Never
I don't think
happened.
anybody saw the movie, so nobody did it. So shouts out to people who are doing that. I do have some Bruntouchable stories that I'll.
Also, just shout out to like remembering Ma because it's December 2019. I totally forgot that movie existed.
Here's a good one. Ready or Not.
Ready or Not's worse.
Ready or Not is better
No,
than
it's-
Rocket
no,
Man.
it's not.
So I was hoping
Maybe
we could
it hits the chords better for you, but like
I was hoping we get some like statement out of this, being like, okay, so we've determined that Rocket Man, while a good, enjoyable movie, this is better than it, for example, and that can be kind of a good little central place. I think that's it for me. Like I could say, Ready or Not better than Rocket Man. Blinded by the Light.
Blinded by the Light. Oh man, so much
bit worse.
So much worse.
Quite a bit worse. Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw worse than Rocket
I
Man.
think better.
You liked it a lot. I thought. I mean,
Which is so
it's
random.
it really is. But no, Hobbs and Shaw was entertaining and like a decent popcorn movie. But I really liked Rocket Man.
I tell you, I meant to bring back calling things random.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, my dad's so random.
I actually watched an episode of Schitt's Creek last night, and I think they beat you to the punch on that.
Oh, they call everything random?
Yeah.
Damn, they're so random. Toy Story 4.
Worse than Rocket Man. Like
I'd say worse, but Forky
I
was...
had so much fun.
Forky was
I had
great.
so much fun watching Toy Story 4, but like you made the point. Everything after Toy Story is extremely forgettable.
Right.
And I like basically already forget everything that happened in Toy Story 4.
Escape Room.
Escape Room worse. But
You were quite high on Escape Room, though.
The Escape Room was very good for what it was. It was just a movie right after Oscar season where you're excited about movies and like you obviously know that it's a weak time. You're probably going to get some shitty movies in the theaters, but you just want to see a movie. I went and I saw Escape Room. It entertained me.
All right, let's check back. Let It Snow.
Let It Snow.
You're sure?
I'm 1,000%
worse?
sure it's worse.
I still haven't answered that. I don't know if it is. I'm probably gonna watch Let It Snow again because I've been rewatching Marriage Story because I'm like, well, it's a good movie. It's on Netflix. I can knock out a few scenes. Really, I've just been watching from the courtroom scene on.
Okay,
because that's a great. I don't know how long it is, a half hour or whatever. That's great. You get
a lot of
courtroom
Laura Dern.
scene. You get the fight. You get the observation. You get both songs from Company. Mm-hmm. That's another big thing. Probably not much to say for the purposes of our podcast, but I've really gotten into Stephen Sondheim's Company soundtrack. Never seen that play, but those two songs that they sing are from that. The one about the crazy person, that was a great performance.
Yeah.
I feel like put some respect on ScarJo's name. No one's talking about how that was a good performance. But man, Being Alive, that's a great ass song. Mm-hmm. And it makes me want to, I don't know, it makes me want to get into like musical
Theater?
stuff. I never got into it, and I have friends who've got into it, and they're
Seems like a pain in the ass.
Well, it's like getting into soccer where you're just so far behind that like where do you begin? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch a movie of Company. There's no such thing. So like what the so
yeah, like it seems like it's a lot of.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get
it.
into soccer. So I show up at the bar in like a kit, and everyone's like, "There's no soccer right now. What are you doing here? This is a club." And I'm like, "Well, fuck. I tried to get into soccer." There actually was a movie of Company, but I think it was one of those like made for TV things, and it was like Stephen Colbert and Neil Patrick Harris, and like shouts out those people. I feel like that shouldn't be my
entry point.
My entry point. I didn't know the song that they sing in Joker, the bullies beating him up on the train. That's like a song from a Sondheim musical.
Really?
And I tell you that on Advanced Analytics they now do a short little segment where Paul reviews a movie. And the first one they did was Joker, and he hated it. Then he called it a trash-ass film. And he was like, I can tell you with one scene why this movie was so bad. It's like he's coming home, he gets fired from a gig or something or whatever, because he brought the gun or something. Yeah. So he's sitting on the bus, he was like, and then 3 Wall Street guys come up to him and in
singing
a taunting way begin to sing Stephen Sondheim's. Paul must be a theater guy or something. But like because I don't know what that song is.
Yeah,
and he was like, "How do these 3 people,
jocks basically, like, Wall Street jocks?"
No, and not to say I knew a lot of jocks who did like theater and stuff, but like, no, every word to this song from this play. Like, what could be, I don't know, even if, like, you and I are, like, hanging out, what are the chances that we both know every word to, like, a Mariah Carey song?
Right.
Which, like,
and then add a third one of us into it, and that guy also knows every word.
I'm trying to think. And then, I don't think they were harmonizing or anything.
And then what are the chances that we can beat the shit out of a full-grown, another adult male?
Oh, yeah. These are all things that...
so very low.
Hearing that review made me think, because I think... our thing on Joker was like good.
I thought
not
it was
great, like good to very good.
Very good movie that was like very uncomfortable and like not my favorite thing to watch.
I quite like how they portrayed him because it felt more like my initial image of their perception of the Joker as a kid, which is like bad, scary guy who like can't fly or anything, but like he just does like shocking shit. Mm-hmm. And that's what that guy did. Last Black Man in San Francisco, significantly better.
Oh, like 1,000 times better. I've said it a million times.
Yeah.
I think it's still in my number 1 spot, Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Oh, that's your number 1. Wow.
Yeah, I fucking love that movie.
Okay, so I went to 2 concerts last however many days. Both concerts very near and dear to my heart. Saw Ween on Friday. That ruled. Love those guys. They're both sober, and wouldn't you know, like people in the audience were like worried, but not worried, but they were like, "How do you think they'll sound?" You know. And after like 3 songs, everybody was like, "Oh right, they're like technically good."
Yeah, it's like, oh right, being sober usually can help.
Right, like their like hand-eye coordination has been heightened. But they were incredible, and that was a great time. And then I went to Paul Williams in New York on Monday, and that was amazing. It was in a little club. He was hilarious, great performance, so good. Like, walked out of there legitimately being like, that guy is going to be a star, like has to be a star. If you guys somehow haven't listened to his album Surf Music yet, dear God, listen to it. It's so good. Very heartwarming. Lord forgive me, about to brag. Few Untouchables in the audience.
Wow.
Few Untouchables in the audience came over, said like, yo, we're into this guy because of you guys. Thanks. Like one person came from Florida. It was wild. One of Paul's new songs, he says, I'm going to get the reference wrong, but he says like, I'm just a loose ball and she's Marcus Smart or something. Mm-hmm. And huge cheers from the audience. So very strong Boston representation there. That was an awesome time. He pulled one of my favorite moves I've ever seen at a concert, which is he had the in-ear monitors, and after a few songs, he was just like, "Oh, these are iPhone headphones, not plugged into anything." I just thought this would make me look professional. Funniest
awesome.
move I've ever seen. Anyway, saw some Untouchables there. Good times. And saw some Untouchables at Ween. And they were very nice. And we were I ended up like hanging with a group of them during the show. And we were talking about something. And I was about to make a reference to you. And then I caught myself and I was like, wait a second. I don't know for sure that these people are Untouchables. They could have just been like, they could just be like sports guys or something like that.
Yeah.
So I had to ask the most uncomfortable question I've ever asked in my life.
Do you listen to my podcast?
That I'm now repeating on here. No, I said, I was mid-sentence. I was about to bring up something with you. And I was like, wait, this is so fucking weird. But how do you know me? It was like, do you know me for this not important thing, or do you know me for this not important thing? And they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, I do some sports stuff, and I do a pop culture podcast. And one of the guys was like, dude, we're at a Ween concert. You think any of us listen to a pop culture podcast? And then they were like, oh, so what do you think of whatever? They were like, so you watching The Mandalorian? And I was like, oh, no. And they were like, oh, cool. You excited for, like, whatever? And they named, like, 3 or 4 things that, like, are pretty mainstream popular things. And I was like, oh,
nope.
I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. And they were like, you said that you do, like, a pop culture podcast? And I was like, yeah, but it's more like...
We pick what's cool.
Right. I was like, it's more like Zac Efron and, like... A little Ween and like Father John Misty and Mamma Mia 2. And that's kind of it. So, good times. We saw Richard Jewell, which have people actually reacted to whether or not that's a good movie? I saw that everyone got really mad. I don't know if people have said whether it's good or not.
Yeah, I haven't seen a ton of it. I've seen a few reactions, but I think that most of like the discussion around Richard Jewell is not about the actual movie more than it is about the controversy surrounding the movie. And I would definitely say this is probably one of the most
people
controversial
like controversy
movies.
More than they actually than they like movies. So
yeah, for sure. And
controversy is more in than films right now.
What's more controversial, the Joker or Richard Jewell? I think in the reality, probably Richard Jewell.
It has to be Richard Jewell.
But like the lead up to the movie, like nobody beats
no
the Joker.
No offense to anybody, but I'm trying to, unless I'm misremembering, like Joker didn't do anything wrong, right?
No, not in my mind.
Right? It was just like a violent movie.
Yeah.
And it was...
And people got like uncomfortable with the way that it provided commentary on sort of like what's going on today in sort of like the quote-unquote incel sort of culture or whatever.
No, I maintain the Joker was fucking. What's his name in real life? Harvey Dent?
No. It was Arthur Flick. Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons.
Arthur Blank.
Congrats to the Joker for going on and becoming a billionaire owner of the Falcons.
He wears those dope-ass coats.
It's true.
Hey, it's time to play.
Arthur
Who
Blank
has cooler coats?
Arthur Blank does look like a superhero villain.
Arthur Fleck or Arthur Blank. Both have some dope-ass coats. Okay, so we did see Richard Jewell, and I have no idea whether or not anybody thinks it's a good movie, bad movie, terrible movie, whatever. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. It wasn't very good. It wasn't great. It was good. In good movies, I think you can see a movie and say, this movie had some rough scenes and ones that maybe I would get rid of, and like it was comically bad at points. Overall, movie was good.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe this movie.
1,000%. I'm right in the same boat. There were several. I don't want to say several things, but there were multiple things about this movie that like I absolutely did not like.
Yeah.
Get him out of here. But overall, I would say that I enjoyed my experience watching the movie. I would say that I think that it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
But
I could say certainly
good to good. Certainly not perfect. And I'll probably forget that it exists somewhat soon.
Yeah.
But I think that it was a pretty good movie.
Had some great performances. Sam Rockwell. And I'm telling you, it's because of his name. just like you can't see Sam Rockwell or talk about Sam Rockwell without being like, he is just one of the great actors of our generation. But he is. He's awesome. He could play anything. He rules. So he was great in it. All the performances, I would say, were good. Jon Hamm is just always Jon Hamm. Jon Hamm falls into the like, and I love Jon Hamm. Like, is he a good actor?
I don't know.
Like, here's my impression of Jon Hamm. Yeah. What? I got to take advice from you now? That's like all of his lines are that.
Yeah.
Oh, Baby Driver. He's now I got to worry about you. Yeah. It's all like all of his things are like
just plays. He plays the same character very, very often.
Oh, you're gonna. You think I work for you?
He's the pretty overconfident, a little bit cocky, a little bit dickish, but also kind of funny. Yeah. Somehow never gets laid.
Really? Does he not?
I
maintain Jon Hamm's fucking.
Jon Hamm's definitely fucking, but he's not fucking as much as we all think Jon Hamm should be fucking.
Yeah, I mean, we're right after. One of the terrible scenes, but the scene before he fucks in this movie is like he had to know when they're making that scene. Like, yo, right now we're taking part of something special. Like, this is going to be like a classic terrible movie scene because that's what that is. The scene in the bar where she walks in, and she's like, "Tell me something. I have sources, blah blah." And he's like, "Well, if you couldn't fuck it out of them, you're not going to fuck it out of me." And then within like 3 seconons, she bats her eyes at him, and he was like, "Can we have sex? Oh my god, I'll tell you
everything."
Like,
this is really happening,
right?
So,
boy, something's like what does Step Brothers when they're having sex?
Or is that a Superbad?
No.
Oh,
no.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So something's happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Jon Hamm.
Yep. Just a guy who's never had sex before, apparently.
That was, I guess that's what they were showing in Step Brothers. Right. But that scene was just awkward. And, like, we know that didn't happen. But, like, even if
we don't know
something like that
we don't
happened,
know that didn't happen. We don't know for sure that it did happen. And that's the problem.
Well, unless I'm mistaken, there was nothing to suggest that it did happen.
Yeah, I think that's like more accurate. Yeah.
For all that's been written and said about the whole Richard Jewell thing, nobody ever said that Kathy Scruggs slept with an FBI agent to get that tip.
Yeah, obviously that was the big controversy there. But like overall, for me, it felt like a very angry movie that clearly had a bias and an agenda, and it just felt really mad at the media the entire way through.
But I get to me, it didn't seem like they were being mean, or it didn't seem like they were taking that big a shit on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Like, really, they made Kathy Scruggs look horrible.
They made her look like the worst person.
She was an absolute cartoon character, drunk the whole time, but never drinking. Yeah. Like she said, and that's another way in which it didn't make sense. Like she carried herself like a drunk party person.
Yeah, there was absolutely no real person
drinking
behind
or anything.
Her. Yeah, and I know that from what I've read that she was a very aggressive reporter and that her work was very important to her. But they at no point in that movie did they ever show her with any motivation to do anything other than get a story,
right?
And she would do whatever it takes. She broke the fucking law.
Yeah,
she fucked a source.
Broke into.
That's what I'm saying. She broke the law.
Is that something that people thought happened?
I have no idea, but if Kathy Scruggs was a halfway decent human being, you didn't see it in this movie,
right? So I didn't trust any of the stuff I was seeing though. So maybe that's why it didn't affect me that much. Like the scene where Sam Rockwell gets in his car and she's broken in and she's sitting in the back seat. I didn't do the oh come on, that never happened. I'm watching a fiction. Yeah. I'm watching fiction right now, so whatever.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And you said that they didn't necessarily shit on the media and the Atlantic Journal Constitution or whatever.
Yeah, Atlantic Journal Constitution.
Yeah, but they also didn't show any part of the media process that felt authentic. And I think that that's a very important part of this story. And if you're gonna make to take this movie from pretty good to great.
Yeah.
I think you needed to show both sides. And I think that you needed to show both sides in an honest and authentic way. And you only got it from Richard Jewell's perspective. I thought like Richard Jewell's side of the story was presented in a very, very good, very authentic, like very endearing way. And that was ultimately the goal of this movie. But I do think that showing the other side of it in a honest fashion would have made it a much better movie.
I thought that they made the FBI look worse than media.
Yeah, I would say like because
Jon
they
Hamm's
had the
character-
FBI fishing for reasons,
Right,
to,
just like hell bent on.
Yeah.
And I mean that.
and they gave the scoop to Kathy Scruggs, and Kathy Scruggs, like to her credit, even if that did fucking happen,
Yeah.
like she got the story. She's reporting a story that was
right.
told to her by a legitimate source.
Oh,
she didn't make it up.
Yeah, she didn't. They sued everybody after all that happened. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution, I think, unless I'm mistaken, was the only like party sued that didn't settle and that wrote it out and won, or the case was dropped. Because the Atlanta Journal-Constitution didn't do anything wrong, unless like there's unless I'm mistaken, and if there's something to the contrary. As I remember it, they wrote what they were told. What she wrote was correct. That they were She wrote that they were investigating him, that he was a suspect, and it led to a huge thing. And I'm sure they participated in it too. But
like they threw gas on the fire, but the fire was already burning.
Right. So I don't think the Atlanta Journal-Constitution looks back on that and is like, man, we really screwed up, because they didn't settle. They didn't pay him off.
I will say one of the worst scenes in this movie is when they published the initial story and it's on the front page, and then Kathy Scruggs walked into the newsroom and they give her
cheering?
a fucking standing ovation.
Yeah,
like
something's got to be on the front page every day.
Yeah, seriously. And like this is like they make her seem like she's the most hated person in that newsroom by a lot of people before that happens.
Right,
and all
she's
of a sudden
taunting her coworkers.
Yeah. So, like, it was just a fucking ridiculous scene. And like, the way I would have been very interested from the media perspective of it. And maybe it's just because it's, like, an area in which I work. But, like, to see that would have been very, very interesting, as well as Richard Jewell's story.
Yeah. Paul Walter Hauser.
There's a scene where Kathy Scruggs says that... it suggests that she doesn't even write her own stories because she writes like a brick.
Oh, no, that's something that if you're not in the media, you might be like, what? Oh my God. So she was terrible. A lot of writers aren't good. A lot of like
reporters
and like journalists aren't particularly good writers, and they are aided by editing, which, not to get into like a big thing, like I think part of why writing these days is worse than it used to be is there are fewer editors. Right. Editors don't exist, so there are errors and there's overwriting, see the ringer, and there's so like and I know writers, like good writers that I look up to, who will say like I'm not a very, like, technically I'm not a very good writer. So actually not too uncommon for a reporter to be like, yo, let's make this sound as good as possible because I can't do it.
But they threw that in there just to like further shit on her grave.
Be like, she doesn't do anything but sleep with people.
Yeah. Also, on that subject, do you think did it come across that she had a pre-existing relationship with Jon Hamm? Because that was Olivia Wilde's excuse. Yeah, absolutely not. It definitely did not.
No.
They had never had sex before. From the way that I look at it.
And if so, Jon Hamm would have been volunteering that she's cheating on him. Like, oh, you weren't able to fuck it out of them? Like,
right.
I don't know. Who knows what relationship they have? It's the 90s, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like a real relationship.
Surprise of the year, Randy Haven's in this movie.
Yeah, was in it.
Yeah, for a split second. It was very, very quick. We had talked to Randy about the movie, too, before it was coming out, and I don't know if he volunteered that he was
I don't think so.
I don't recall.
It looked like... I don't know. We'll have to ask him. It looked like maybe he was in a longer scene, and what they ended up keeping was shorter.
He wasn't in a longer scene. He was supposed to be, and on the day of filming, I believe they cut his scene, his like big scene.
Oh, dang.
So he never actually got to film it.
But his buddy Paul Walter Hauser was in it.
Yes,
I thought
very good.
Did a great job. Kathy Bates.
Kathy
you always
Bates
know
was-
what you're getting there.
I think Kathy Bates was one of the standouts in this.
Yeah.
She was very, very good.
And the terrible date from Master of None was in it. The girl who plays Alice, she played Nadia. She did an accent, I believe, unless she did an accent for Master of None. But she was the date for the secret Father John Misty show, where she was a terrible date and was stealing jackets and just being a nightmare. She did a Cartman impression, I believe, so she can do voices.
She offered to suck a stranger's dick. Well,
Yeah,
not
she said,
didn't
hey-
offer to, but like was like a hypothetical. What
Hey.
if I did this?
Yeah, hey, what if I did this? What if I sucked this guy's dick? And then I think Dev says we'd be like,
Why are you doing
please,
that?
yeah, why are you doing that? Oh man, that's a good episode because it does capture the like on a bad date and you don't want to be mean, but like you're not happy and it's like
And you got nothing
you're
to lose.
uncomfortable.
You got nothing to lose
and-
too. Like this, you know that you're never gonna hang out with this person again. Like it's just a bad situation. So
Man, what a
that show was great.
That show was great. Someone asked the other day, they're like, "You think that they'll do another season?"
Probably not.
I would think no.
No.
I don't know. I don't know where Aziz is at in the redemption tour. Would be strong because there's a lot of different ways you can look at the fall of Aziz Ansari, but I don't know what
stand-up
the
special.
perception of him is right now. His stand-up special wasn't very good,
No.
but
I think that he kind of like addressed it head on in the stand up special, and I would say that my guess is now we're kind of just moving past it.
yeah, I think he'll be able to like keep doing stuff, but I don't know. I feel like he's still kind of hanging out in the background
low.
for a little bit. Right, he's just sitting on the sideline. Here's the story. Cats movie first reactions call it way too horny and bewildering.
Oh, that's no such thing for me because if you're telling me that Cats is super horny, I'm way more interested in it.
Way too okay. We knew this would be an experience. Oscar-winning director Tom. Film follows a tribe of cats. Must decide. Okay, spoiler alert.
Also, hey, side note: did you know that the guy who wrote Richard Jewell is the guy who did Shattered Glass?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
so I think that guy just really doesn't like the media.
I don't know. I think that I don't think he made. I mean, he made Richard Glass look very bad, but
Richard Glass?
Stephen Glass looked really bad, but
Wait, he deserved it.
right. I don't think that he made the
The newspaper.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was why can't I think of the New Republic? What was the name of that? I don't know what any
I think it was the
magazines
New Republic.
anymore. New Republic, is that a thing? Let's see.
Sure.
I got the
Star Wars: New Republic.
New Republic. Oh, that's a shoe company? Nope. The New Republic still exists.
The
Founded in
Banana Republic.
Didn't they say it was the New Republic? It was like the in-flight magazine of Air Force One. Is that what they called it?
Yeah, I think that was hyped up in that movie.
Yeah. That's a good movie. Anyway. Let's see. One world full of praise. Beautiful ghost. Okay, let's get to the part where...
Let's get to the horny part.
Bizarrely, another added, it brings me no pleasure to report that Cats is way too horny for its own good. How could that bring you no pleasure to report
right?
that? You got the scoop of all scoops.
Also, how can Cats be too horny for its own good?
I can't wait to find out.
You're watching a movie in which humans are playing are just dressed as cats in a literal production in which everything is supersized so they are the size of cats. It's just an absolutely fucking ridiculous premise.
Okay, I was waiting for you to... I thought that was going to be some sort of sex tie-in, and I was
No, it's just a ridiculous premise, and then you're going to throw in they're all super horny and to pretend like that's a bad thing.
That's hilarious.
Exactly.
I'm all for that.
Anything that makes this movie more ridiculous is just making it so much better for me.
One last note on Richard Jewell, when the scene where Kathy Bates gives an emotional press conference and she's begging the president to have them drop the investigation and say that her son has done nothing wrong. She keeps saying, please, Mr. President. And all I could think of was, please, Mr. Kennedy.
Yes.
I don't
Speaking of
want to
Adam
please
Driver.
don't shoot me into outer space. Please.
Do you think Adam Driver will listen to that song?
I did think that's what I then thought about right after. I
Really?
was like, he had to have heard that on the soundtrack or something.
I wish that
10,
I
9,
hope
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
You know it'd be really
3,
great.
2, 1 second, please.
it would be great if that Terry Gross interview comes out and
That's what they played.
Yes, we just make a super cut.
Oh
and
wait,
instead of
this is what our tweet should be. We should tweet like the scene in Marriage Story. If you haven't seen Marriage Story, this scene of Adam Driver singing like "Will Break Your Heart." And it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Hell yeah,
3,
that's a great
2,
fucking
1
tweet.
second, please.
I can't wait to stop recording this episode and send
And
that
then
tweet immediately.
Immediately work on that. So how will we do it? Will it be? Will it be just the video from Inside Llewyn Davis, or will it be the video from him singing "Being Alive" and then dub that in?
No, I think you gotta have the video of Inside Llewyn Davis because it's like it makes it so much better.
All right, yeah, and like if you haven't seen
Yeah.
Marriage Story, so they won't know.
Yeah, have you seen Inside Llewyn Davis?
Oh yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I've only seen it once, and when I saw it, my big takeaway was that was a great movie, and I'll only be able to see it once.
Really, I could definitely watch that again.
It's so depressing.
It's
even for
thousands.
me, too depressing.
It's so depressing, but it's also very, very funny.
Yeah, I've listened to the soundtrack a million times.
Yeah.
I got the soundtrack on vinyl.
Same.
God, love it, love it, love it.
But somebody asked me, I think last week, like, what are some of your favorite movies of the decade? And I was like, that is way too hard of a question to even begin thinking about right now.
Yeah.
But thinking about it afterwards, I think Inside Llewyn Davis is one of my favorite movies of the decade.
That's fair. It's
an extremely good movie.
It made me very excited for A Most Violent Year, which didn't end up being that good a movie.
Yeah.
And then recently, people started bringing back like, "Yo, remember how no one gave Most Violent Year enough love?" And I was like, "Wait, we thought that was good? I didn't think that movie was that good. Did you see it?"
I don't think so.
Let's just. This podcast ends with this.